Thank you everybody for being present with us tonight for our meeting. Before the meeting's called to order, some ground rules regarding public meetings via video conferencing are in order. Conducting a public meeting by video conferencing is a novel way for us to allow essential government services to continue, but it does present certain complications that aren't presented in our normal meetings when it's in person. Some ground rules specific to video conferencing are appropriate to cover before we commence. If anyone is having trouble hearing the meeting, please send a message to the Zoom administrator or email me. My email is pmcgratH@mcgrathpc.com. It's vital that all who desire to participate be afforded the opportunity to do so. And if technological issues are preventing someone from participating or hearing the meeting, we will work to resolve those issues before we proceed. There are practices we can each follow to help ensure that all participants can clearly hear all discussion during the meeting. All participants, when they came in to the meeting, were muted. We asked participants to keep their microphone muted, except when they've been recognized to speak. That helps to avoid background noise that can sometimes occur during these video conferences. We'd also ask all individuals participating in the meeting to do our best to speak one at a time and not over each other to improve audibility. As required by the Open Meetings Act, we will have a public comment period during which any member of the public who's participating in the meeting who desires to speak will have the opportunity to be heard. If you're unfamiliar with public meetings of the Village of Morton, the comment period is for comment only. Absent extraordinary circumstances, a response to any specific comment should not be expected during the course of tonight's meeting. During the public comment period, we will do our best to call upon every person who desires to speak in an orderly fashion. In order to assist with the administration of that process, I would ask for anybody who's experienced with Zoom and comfortable with its functions, you could certainly raise your hand at any point in time before public comment if you want to be called upon to speak during the public comment period. If you don't know how to do that or you're not comfortable doing that, we will also ask at the start of the public comment period for individuals to identify themselves who want to be heard, and we'll proceed through a diligent process to make sure that everybody who's here who wants to be heard will have their chance to be heard. There is a limitation on the duration of any comment. That's a 5-minute limitation per established rules of the board. In order to assist the mayor in the administration of tonight's meeting, I'll keep track of that timer. I will warn individuals when that 5-minute deadline approaches, so you have a fair opportunity to wind up your comment before that 5-minute period elapses. I would, however, ask all individuals who desire to be heard, to wait until they're recognized before they begin their comment, just so we can make sure we're all taking turns and proceeding in an orderly fashion. At the conclusion of our public comment period, the meeting administrator will mute all participants other than village officials. That is because, pursuant to established rules of the board, it is only during that public comment period that members of the public are invited to speak, except when recognized by the board. So I thank everyone for participating and for listening to those announcements, and I'll now mute myself so the mayor can proceed.
We'll call this meeting to order and ask for a roll call.
Blunier.
Here.
Leach.
Here.
Lehman.
Here.
Menold.
Here.
Newman.
Here.
Parrott.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. There is no public hearing tonight. There's no presentations or special reports. So we'll move on to the public comments. Is there any in the public who'd like to speak?
So it's at this point in time, if you have not raised your hand, if you desire to be heard, you should at this point in time be able to unmute your microphone. I'd ask anybody who desires to speak to unmute their microphone so that we have some indication of who wants to be heard. I'll allow a minute or so for that to happen. All right. I see at least one individual who's unmuted their microphone and and I think I just see a last name, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing it, but Vol. I see an unmuted microphone, and that's the first one I see up. So, Mr. Mayor, if you don't mind allowing me to recognize that individual to speak to help with the administration of the meeting and a public comment, I think it'd be appropriate for you to commence your comment at this time.
No, go ahead.
Great. Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. First, I would like to thank the mayor and all elected officials for their tireless efforts in making Morton a great community. I can appreciate that you are often not appreciated or thanked, but I know the citizens of Morton are in your best interest. I've seen great strides in the community with the development of new businesses, ensuring that education is paramount, and providing a safe and clean place to live. For that, I thank you for your service. My name is Greg Boley, and I have been a member of the Morton community for close to 40 years. I'm an honorable service Army veteran who has deployed to Iraq, so I know firsthand the meaning of commitment and dedication. I have been trained in how the development of successful action are the products of detailed plans. And in my time of service, I have seen both strong and struggling communities. And I also know that Morton is one of the greatest. My grandfather was the late Dale Rithaler, who I'm sure many of you know. He was the executive vice president of the First National Bank, an avid golfer, fisherman, and a man who, when he spoke, you listened. While I may not have inherited his love of golf, his patience, or eloquence of delivery and speech, what I did learn was that when times got tough, you got to work and made things happen. The current climate that we are living in is just that, a time to get to work and make things happen. The facts are that there is a virus unlike anything we have ever seen, and we don't know how to quite defeat it yet. Best case scenario, a vaccine won't be available until the end of this year or the start of next. The worst case scenario, we can't even imagine. We've been given guidelines and rules to stay safe, but haven't been given the tools or information to execute those orders safely. We need proper explanations, and we need our leaders to develop localized plans of action. Otherwise, our community is being ruled without consideration for the impact to our community. We've been given stay-at-home orders that are breaking down the economy and making small businesses in our community go bankrupt. We've been given stay-at-home orders that are risking the lives and the livelihoods of families in this community. The facts are that we cannot continue in this manner, and we are in need of clear and precise directives. Some of those directives may include, first, letting small businesses know exactly what curbside means, such as retailers who have clothing, home goods, and food for sale, and how to operate within the rules so that local business owners and consumers can work with confidence. Second, showcasing businesses with a 15 to 30-second video on the Chamber of Commerce's social media platforms to remind the community about what local looks like. Third, engaging with the local rentals and signage makers to provide canopies and social distancing guidelines for curbside shopping. The benefit of this is to inform the community while shopping and to create revenue. Fourth, asking the community for help in regards to helping small businesses navigate social media. The reason for this is that the transition from how they normally ran a business to the new normal has been too quick. And finally, 5, providing a volunteer-driven food, clothing, and hygiene pantry to help those struggling during the pandemic, i.e. unemployment numbers, foreclosures, and bankruptcies that are bound to happen. I definitely can understand the caution with disobeying authority and realizing that we as a community might not get funds if we go against an order. We might have licenses pulled and people disciplined severely. A career in the military has instilled an appreciation for civil obedience and order. However, we cannot sit on our laurels unprepared, awaiting for the state of Illinois to fix this. We must think of pragmatic solutions to figure out the local problems that we are encountering, and we cannot just wait any longer. I'll leave you with this. When Washington was devastated by a tornado a few years back, it took the community and surrounding communities to come together and figure it out. It wasn't just left to the leaders to rebuild and organize, but it took the entire community to come together. If that means burning the midnight oil on the high school football field to brainstorm, then so be it. I am willing to offer my time in coming up with innovative ideas to help with both short and long-term struggles that this community is facing. This community is my home, and these people are my family. I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Is there anyone else who's present who wants to be heard? If so, you can unmute your microphone, and then I'll call upon you if I see your microphone come unmuted. All right, I see Teresa Darcos.
Yes.
Your hand raised and microphone unmuted, so
Yes. Can you hear me? Awesome. Okay. Hello, I'm Teresa from the office. You probably know that. I want to say thank you for the video that you sent out that was recorded May 15th on the COVID-19 conversation. I did need to hear something like that. It was wonderful to hear. As you know, it was recorded on the 15th. I feel like, sometimes that's already outdated. So I think what I'm requesting today is that we're updated more with maybe a questions and answer kind of scheme. Small business is very frustrated right now with the guidance that we're given. And I've definitely asked my community leaders, but also working with the representatives. We're getting conflicting stories on what to do and what we're supposed to be doing, what other towns are doing. You mentioned in your meeting this morning about the other regions already opening up, and you see these people opening up and they're telling you what they did to get that done. So, and I have a lot of questions and asking how was it done, and so I start getting into all that. And so other small businesses, we're working together, we're talking, trying to figure out how we can work together to make money, to figure out how we can reopen safely. Let's see. I requested the Q&A through, I think, the Morton Chamber, and I think I sent it to Kaufman as well. So my statement would be, is there any way that we could somehow work together with your board to come up with a team for small businesses to start getting the questions and answers, or get the questions together at least, and then maybe go with you guys and somehow find the answer for who we have to go to for that leadership. We need guidance. We don't know when it's, like he mentioned earlier, Gregory, when it comes to curbside and pickup, I don't know if they can come in. What am I supposed to do if they want to sit there, and what if they sit there longer and start talking? Am I allowed to do that? I need to know some kind of guidance on those certain things that when they are doing this, what are you expecting from me? I have to know those expectations. And I'd like to build a group to do it. And that's it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else who would like to provide a comment tonight? If so, please unmute yourself, and I'll call upon you when I see you muted. We have a number of people here. I'm not seeing any other unmuted microphones. If I'm missing you, or you feel I'm missing you, feel free to raise your hand or send me an email, or if you're on video, wave your hand or give us some indication. But seeing none of those things, I would indicate to you, Mr. Mayor, it appears that we have concluded the public comment period, and I'll mute myself so you can proceed.
All right, thank you, Pat. The consent agenda tonight is the approval of the minutes, the regular meeting of May 4th, 2020, and the approval of the bills. Could I have a motion?
I'll move to approve. Newman.
I'll second. Steve?
Any questions? If not, call the roll.
Blunier,
Yes.
Leach,
Yes.
Lehman,
Yes.
Menold,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Parrot.
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right. The only thing I have tonight is the appointment of Tom Osborne to the Business District Development and Redevelopment Commission for 2 years, and that term ends April 30th, 2022. Do we have a motion?
So move, Steve.
Second.
Second.
Any comments? If not, call the roll.
Leach,
Yes.
Lehman,
Yes.
Menold,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Village Clerk,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Village Administrator.
I have 2 items tonight, Your Honor. The first of which is the 2020 Spring Tourism Grant recommendations. The Morton Tourism Grant Committee met and via Zoom, and we went through all the grant applications that we had received. And the memo that I sent out to the board, and it's in the packet, includes all the grant applications that we approved with recommendations for the amounts. There was one grant applicant that withdrew their application because they've already canceled their event for this year. And I have informed them all that, you know, with the uncertainty of large gatherings, we're not going to do what we normally do by, as soon as these are approved, we normally would send out checks to all these event groups, but we're not going to do that. We're going to wait until about a month before their event and then send the money out, unless I've heard from them, you know, that I want to hear from each of them whether they are or are not going to have their event. So I don't know if you have any questions on any of these. They're the same groups that we normally have for grants. So if you have any questions, I can go through them.
Could we have a motion?
So move, Brad.
Second. Newman.
Is there any questions or concerns for Julie? If not, call the roll.
Lehman,
Yes.
Menold,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
Blunier,
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Motion passes.
The next item I have tonight, Your Honor, is the recommendations for building improvement grants from the Business District Commission. There were 3 grants for this month's round. One from Emerald City Investments for a property at 210 West Jefferson. One from Sam Parrott for a property at 140 South Main. And one from J. Kaiser Incorporated for a property at 1101 West Jackson.
We have a motion.
I'll move to approve. Newman.
Second by Steve.
Does anybody have any questions about these grants?
If not, call the roll.
Menold,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
Blunier,
Yes.
Leach,
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Have anything other? Is that it?
That's it. That's it tonight.
All right. Chief of Police.
There you go. I have a couple things tonight, Your Honor. Back in 2004, what was established by the President was a Volunteer Service Award. Our auxiliary is volunteers that give their time to the city in a sundry of ways. They are storm spotters when severe weather approaches. They have annual monthly trainings and meetings, though those haven't been going on so much of late. They ride along with officers. They come out in various emergency situations, and the award is given to those members who contribute 100 hours or more annually. We had 7 members this last year who qualified for that award. Typically, we present them with a certificate and a pin at our meeting, but unfortunately, we're not able to do that. But I would like to give you their names and mention them here. They were Dennis Batzik, Todd Glasscock, Kevin Good, Greg Linville, Chris Olburn, Stig Ruxlow, and Pete Zobrist. The group on a whole volunteered 1,455.5 hours. So it's commendable to them for the amount of time that they give to the village. I have one more announcement for the board. In collaboration with the Morton VFW, and in interest of public safety due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and in line with Governor Pritzker's Restore Illinois plan, we're canceling this year's Independence Day fireworks celebration, which was scheduled for July 3rd, the Morton VFW.
Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
And thanks for all those volunteers that help us. I don't know how we do many of our events without them. Corporation Counsel.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Director of Fire and Emergency Services.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have nothing at this time.
And Director of Public Works.
I have several items tonight, Your Honor. First, item A, I'd like to ask for acceptance of proposal through NJPA Sourcewell and from Altorfer Incorporated for a 2020 CAT 420 F2 IT backhoe loader in the amount of $52,412.00. This includes the trade-in of our 215 CAT backhoe loader, and this also includes a 5-year, 2,000-hour guaranteed buyback price for $65,000. As many of you know, we've got 4 backhoes, and we participate in this 5-year buyback. We've done so for quite some time. So with that, I'd like to ask for approval.
Could we have a motion?
So moved, Parrott.
Second. Blunier.
Lakeman.
Any questions?
Just a comment. Great job, Craig, using the government contract to get the best price for the city. You continually do that, and it's the absolute best price you can get. So great job.
Anyone else? If not, call the roll.
Newman,
Yes.
Parrott,
Yes.
Blunier,
Yes.
Leach,
Yes.
Lehman,
Yes.
Menold.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Next is item B. I'd like to ask for acceptance of proposal from Neff Company / John Deere out of Avon, Illinois for a 2020 Schulte XH1000 Series 4 rotary cutter, 10-foot, in the amount of $20,950.
I move
Do we have a motion?
Brad, I move we approve.
Second, Blunier.
And this, if I could just add, this replaces our 2001 Schulte that we budgeted. Actually, we talked about buying it for the last several years. So the old one obviously is almost 20 years old. We'll use that for parts and pieces, but this will replace that and be used, right-of-ways, creeks, and all of our mowing that we do.
All right. Is there any other comments or questions? If not, call the roll.
Parrot,
Yes.
Blunier,
Yes.
Leach,
Yes.
Lehman,
Yes.
Menold,
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Does any village trustee have anything tonight? Hearing none, we don't need any closed session, so if we could have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second, Steve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 We're adjourned. Thank you.